Breaker's Collection is QUByte Interactive's newest release on the Nintendo Switch, and a collection made up of both Breakers, which released back in 1996, and Breaker's Revenge, which dropped 2 years later. Two highly underrated fighters from the Neo Geo era from the Visco Corporation, and it clearly shows with the sharp contrasting pixel work from the character sprites and the gorgeous backgrounds are a real joy to watch. Releasing just a few years after Street Fighter II, which took the world by storm, it's fair to say that many developers were looking to get into the fighting game boom. This pair of releases were good, but never really stood out from what they actually were. Comparable, well-made fighters with plenty of unique characters, depth and experience required for both proper execution and gorgeous late 90s visuals. Let's not get it twisted though. There are some that, let's just say, took direct inspiration from Street Fighter, which is clearly obvious, but that doesn't mean all of the characters are like that or much less play the same. Some are brawlers, others are aerial focused fighters, others are timing based, and much more. Execution in fighting games triumphs all of it, and this game has that in spades. Now as far as the story goes, well, you shouldn't come here expecting much honestly, and who really cares? It's a fighting game after all. What you will find here is plenty of meaty combos and plenty of Twitch-like controls. Starting out with, you basically have light and heavy combos for punching and kicking thanks to the Neo Geo controller layout, which was similar in a sense to the Super Nintendo one. The game does provide a training room for you to learn all of your characters' intricate moves and even hitbox markers, so you know exactly how to properly execute each one of your combos. Then there's of course the single player experience as you take down the 7 or so characters and then 10 or so in the other game, where you keep in mind that only a few extra characters are added there in the Revenge version of the game, with a couple of balance changes as well, but not much in the terms of pretty much visual makeup, which really makes a real difference. Pretty much both games will look pretty much similarly, and that is a real shame. It really just feels like something that you would get kind of like a DLC add-on nowadays, but back in the cartridge day, you pretty much needed to sell a brand new version of the game. Street Fighter II fans pretty much know this all too well. Alongside the basics, you get tons of filters, expanded display edges, bonus arts, sound testing, developer interviews, the works. It really tries its best to cater to the classic player audience at heart. But not only that, it also features a full online multiplayer with rollback netcode to boot, and crossplay between all versions. That includes PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and of course the Nintendo Switch. Because all of the versions run basically locked frame rates, which is basically the only thing that would be holding you back other than a bad connection, rollback should be able to address that, and everyone choosing to enable this feature should have a comparable equal balance footing. Not only that, but QUByte managed to put many other publishers and developers to shame, specifically on the Nintendo Switch, since they provided rollback netcode and other developers just simply choose not to do that on the Switch, which makes no sense whatsoever, and is the reason why they end up losing out on sales. While I did spend most of my time playing on the Nintendo Switch Lite like I usually do for many of my reviews, I did capture some of the gameplay you're seeing on an Xbox Series X, and that version of the game looks exactly like the Switch version does, just a bit sharper due to the of course native 4K resolution. All in all, there's no real drawbacks here regardless of which console you decide to pick the game up on. Breaker's Collection isn't really much of a collection since it's just 2 games, but they're games that we're kind of finally glad to be able to see getting some love in modern gen consoles as classic fighters that should not be lost in time. Nintendo Sphere gives Breaker's Collection on the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox Series X a 7 out of 10. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!